Alright, this is my very rough explanation of my fucking Marching Cubes algorithm. I'm probably not gonna edit this video, so it is what it is. Let me turn some of this noise on. So I'm procedurally generating meshes, right? Which you can see if I make this bigger, calculates out some mesh. I can turn on different layers of noise and make it look different, right? That's what these are, the different layers of noise. Let me bring it back down. Refocus on the chunk. But so essentially, this is just like your Minecraft terrain, right? It'll go forever, or however long I want it to. Uh, if I turn on these debug verts and change a parameter, oh no, I gotta play it. So in actuality, what the code is doing is it's creating all these fucking vertices, which just look like this. They're a point in space, and it's calculating pseudo random values for the vertices. I call this ISO value, right? And what this ISO value is how far this vertex is away from the mesh. So you can see this one's 2.5 away from it. This one's 1.5 away from it. This one's only 0.5 above the mesh. So you can see, because this one's -4, it's going to be under the mesh. And so it draws a part of the mesh right here, right? And so what you're actually doing is you're looking at 8 of these values in conjunction, those 4 right there, and the 4 under it, you can't see because my little player, but these guys, and creating a sort of cube. And then based on all 8 of these values, there's only 256 possible configurations of how this mesh could look within this cube, right? And then you interpolate how far along the vertex is based on the difference in values. So what I mean by that is you can see these two cubes, right? This from here to here to here to here, from here to here to there. They share the same fucking looking surface. It's a rectangle, right? It has two triangles, which you can kind of see, and they're both rectangular. But this one is very clearly at a different steepness than this one. And that's because this vertex is 0.1 above the ground, whereas this vertex is 0.7 above the ground. So based on the difference in these ISO values, you can interpolate the same rectangular configuration along these axes and fucking draw the mesh in a different way, which is how you end up with all this crazy variance and shit. Why is this useful? Because there's a million ways to do this. This is definitely one of the more complex ones. Why is this useful? If you increase the chunk size to something more meaningful, let me rechange the noise to something a little prettier. I fly around with my little player here. What you're able to do is by editing these values, right? So by increasing or decreasing these ISO values of these vertices, you're able to tell the mesh essentially what part you want to be underground and what part you want to be above ground. So you're able to draw as such or dig. And so what I want you to imagine with this is that there are exactly 55 by 55 by 55 vertices, just like in our cube down here, expanding all the way across this entire chunk. All I'm doing is changing the ISO value of these vertices to be either lower, so when I'm digging, right? Well, when I'm digging, I'm taking the underground ones and I'm making them above ground, actually. So I'm increasing their ISO value. Therefore, by adding air, I guess you could say, under the mesh. And when I'm adding values, I'm decreasing their ISO value, essentially making the vertices say, okay, I'm underground now. How should we draw this? And then it recalculates how to draw it. This is called the Marching Cubes algorithm. And it has its challenges. I want to look at doing it in a different way, a very similar way, but called dual contouring, which is that little donut I posted. But I don't know. Astroneer uses marching cubes with a level of detail system. So like you don't want to draw all these vertices all the time because it'd be very slow for something that's very far away, right? So you'd want to turn it down to like maybe 10 vertices. That's level of detail. And using a transvoxel algorithm, which is how to interpolate chunks of data to look seamless. I believe. So I might do something with that if I can make it fast enough. You can see I'm dropping down to 60 FPS. Fucking just doing this algorithm, and it's doing all this processing on the GPU. I have a 3060, so doing 60 FPS isn't great. But I think a lot of it is actually because it's on the GPU. But anyways, long story short, it's my little program. I hope you like.